was see you see a few after said Immigration Minister Mac Miller announced say there's been a couple on international student applications into the number of students are now ebe Canada afibia no what is no aside no so obehwe mu a otimi say the number of visa refusers na kosro to the extent say fancy applications 10 near there atuma one hwe ya approval be me no pe. Welcome to Plan Ahead GH. While some for Joan and then so go so ahwe mo screen see. It's been an answer mobile screens no our survey with information I mean can answer the mesua ni hwehwe mu amayede. Ma hwe ne ma hu. Ne so be yem pensem mu ne hu de tua mu se ne be ye be boa yen ene afoforo wa kire apese yede. Adwan ne okrom ha. Ye gusu information a be boa yen me yetimi atena krom ha. We are also gathering information ni back for trim nti se woni bibi na se manka ne yi a fa share comment section anya bufu onye ntokwa adesua na esua. Now subscribe say won subscribe ya we obi afi na wo hu channel efufuro a na make sure so wa share ma fufuro nso sa ka me channel e bi me din di Joseph me international student I me fi Ghana by my come school and other things. We will share more on that. So today, my purpose here and say, aside say the Immigration Minister Mac Miller, Ebekano month of January, say there's going to be a cap on the applications. No, I think he said that last year. Yeah, there's going to be a cap on international students because it's believed the hardship country need common. Most of them could be attributed to us as international students, which in some case true, in some cases it's not a truth. No, we cannot argue the country is not for us. So what do? We just lay low. Now aside that one, there's been a lot of visa refusers, like people calling you here and there for sending your rejection way here and there and the other. And today we are here to talk about certain things and certain mistakes that we've also been making. Now let me put this one across. I've realized that whenever I see people, I'll be sending a letter of explanation and I say, go through it for him or her, and I say, on finding a visa application, you would realize that everything is dito from AI generated copies. Nipa know the AI and I actually a letter of explanation. Mind you, letter of explanation, and I said the uncle for friend statement of purpose no. Your life and everything that entails like life and why you want to undergo that kind of study. And I said the entire person makes you or Canada hand say no. So I say and he said what do we be a AI answer? It means you are making a mistake, which we all do. A lot of us are making that mistakes. That one is also a contributing factor when it comes to visa refusal. Now let's go to the statistics. Now this year, from the month of I think January to the month of May, the number of visa applications at Canada for and when it comes to study permits, 231,000 applications and more were estimations. Now approval 125,000 and a rejection 106,000. Now so we sure this year the estimation for the year was I think 35,000 or so 350,000 students and on be allowed into the country. Now she have almost half a year. That's almost 125,000. I mean say the number of people are not more allowed into the country. No. Almost estimated some be allowed into the country. No. Now, there's been reasons why these refusers are back. Now, this information is from Apply Board. Apply Board is a reliable source when you want any information about immigration and its related issues. So that's what I say. Now, when you go through the statistics, the number one reason why the applicants are being refused this year and then last year, and it's the immigration officers in question, were not satisfied that applicants will leave Canada after their purported stay in Canada. So we have said, what they find in our letter of explanation and as a statement of purposes, they say, in Canada after our studies, no, we don't have any agenda of going back. So at Marseille, even though they know, say, they are having opportunities, they are having routes that will lead us to permanent residency and eventually become citizens of the country, you know. Their major focus when you are applying for a study permit, they say you convince them on the grounds that you will leave Canada after your studies, after the end of your studies. And this is one of the major reasons why they are refusing, they've been refusing our visas this year. It contributes to 72.2% of visa rejections this year. 72. Even last year, it was higher than this year. But when we go back to the year 2022, not satisfied that applicants will leave Canada at after yesterday's was sitting at 37.8%, which means from 2022 to 2023, meaning the rise in that kind of Adiana immigration officers really went up from 37.8% to 74.7%. So that's massive of the number of applications are rejected. So now it means one of the major things that they are looking for when it comes to study permit application is for you to be able to convince them that indeed you will leave Canada after your studies. So that's massive. Indeed, you will leave the country. You are not going to overstay. You are not going to do any other thing. You will leave Canada after your studies. Now, go back to the next one. The second point here is insufficient asset to support the stated travel purpose. Now, what do they mean by this? We seek whatever you are trying to support your application with. It's not enough. It's insufficient. I think this year also they increased the room on board, like the amount you need to survive per year in Canada from $10,000 Canadian dollars to I think 20,600 and something dollars, which is very huge. And if you combine that with the amount of tuition that people will pay, according to the immigration records that I have here, we were not able to prove that indeed we have that kind of financial strength and also financial capacity to take us through our school, to do any other things without working in Canada. So that was also a reason why the refusal rate also went up. Now, same reason, let's go back to 2022. 2022, that thing stood at 23.4 because they were looking for students at that time to also fill up their the labor shortages. Now they don't need those things again. So now, you know what? The year 2023, it rose to 40% of the total number of rejected applicants. Omkachom said they don't have the financial capacity. They have insufficient assets to support the applications. Now, when it comes to the year 2024, from January to May, which this one we start statistics here, you see, May, June, July, August, and so it will come. When it comes, we'll also talk about it. Now, the third reason was that the purpose of our visit is not consistent with a temporary stay. And sometimes this is in relation to what we say we want to do and then the kind of statement we write to them. I can attribute this one like mainly to our statement of purpose that we write. Now, purpose of our visit not consistent with a temporary stay. What does the temporary stay means? Now, temporary stay there, all the fans will be over visits, will be over school. They need temporary residence. So what I say. So, do you convince them enough in your letter of explanations? And I said we don't convince them enough. Now, this thing was, I think, said the major refusal reason for the year 2022, but they say a reduce here by 46.9%. As of 2022, now was 76.1%. So I will leave the link in the description button so that you go and read it yourself. If you are doing a reapplication, and as I feel now, apply for the year, for the year 2025, which is winter season now, you know, say these reasons are there. You know how you can get your way around them. Now, the other reason is insufficient financial resources for living expenses. Now, living expenses sometimes most of us fail to even prove that, okay, when I come to Canada, as I said, our sponsors will be taking care of our tuition fees, and we just state it like that, say we are living expenses and our living expenses. How much do you think you are going to incur as living expenses in Canada? You, the individual coming, based on your research, you are a student, you are coming to Canada, based on your research, how much do you think that you are going to incur when it comes to your living expenses, your bus fare, your feeding, in as much as the government has stated that 20,000? Is it going to be more than that? Is it going to be less than that? So you need to explain it to them. How is this person going to take care of my living expenses? So that's what I say. So that one is also contributing to that 17.7% when it comes to visa rejection this year from January to May. And then let's go to the next one. The next one is, I think, they said it's unspecified. That is the visa officer's own intuitions, whatever they think of the application. And the last one is home ties. The last one here, no significant family ties outside Canada. Now, a lot of us have very large families, but when we are writing our SOPs, we tend to leave all those people out. Like, I have maybe our siblings, so we tend to leave all those people out, which also affect our application. According to them, these reasons that I've stated are the major causes of visa refusal, aside the immigration minister issuing that cap on international students. So if you are doing your application, you are doing a reapplication, you need to consider all these. And also, okay, now the reapplication, this is what I'm going to do, this is the strategy I'm going to do. You need to do more research on these things. We will also update you. I will also update you. I think my senior man Anaba, for big shout out to MC Milo, Mr. Bruce, meet and greet and whatever, all the programs, Koso, let's all be there. We will continually educate you on what is going on. Now, so what's immediately a chocky baby. This information, my kind be actual, my church or near maybe mono. Minyan apply board. Me the link in the description, but we not see. Now, so wait me up a cooking time. For you to understand, if you've been refused, don't be in a hurry to do a reapplication. Don't be in a hurry to do any other thing. Just know that there are reasons aside the cap. There are reasons which can cause all those things. So once you know these reasons, that's you see how attacking reasons now. Then you know, okay, now this is what, and this is, I'm going to do this, that, or so I say send a baby now. So instead me I account based on what my baby there for your greater good. Now that should be any like Ghana. Yet me develop your mind. So I say, I mean from here now subscribe and not subscribe, no like, no share, no more being on my videos maybe because it's educative. You know, you see there. Say be a macami be. Now say, of you say they need to, like, I need to change it. Say it in the comment section. I will address it. And so you know, baby, put my besi. I'm from Siena to our so. Bye bye.